Solar Group presents. This was once just a dream of the skies, the freedom of flight, of round-the-world journeys. Yet we've made it happen. But what did it take? Our dreams became our goals. Our concepts turned into our plans. Our ideas have transformed into a roadmap and production technology. And the years ahead are booked out with development and construction, components and materials, model manufacturing and testing. All this marks the progress from dream to result. Join us on this journey. Solar Group presents a new generation of airships. The best way to predict the future is to create it, so let's do so together.
Hello, friends. I'm glad to welcome you once again to our bi-weekly webinar for the new Generation Airships project. My name is Gennady. I'm the media manager at Solar Group, and today I'll once again be guiding you through one of the most ambitious technological projects of our time, the new Generation Airships project. Today, as always, we'll take a closer look together at exactly what we're creating, why we're doing it, and which companies are involved in this large-scale project. We'll find out how the project's overall financing is progressing, what the strategic plans are for the coming years, and precisely how investors and partners generate profits in this business. And we'll discuss in detail how you can effectively activate your partner rewards, and how you can begin earning together with this project right now, without waiting for its full and complete finalization. As usual, our presentation will take about 40 minutes. During the presentation, feel free to jot down your questions or write them directly in the comments. At the end of the webinar, we'll set aside some time to read each of your questions, and I'll do my best to answer them. Be sure to write something in the comments. Let's make sure everything is working properly, sound, video, and then we'll get started. Don't forget to stay active and share our video broadcast as well. Perhaps there are individuals you'd like to share important information about our project with, and this comprehensive webinar is truly the best way to effectively do that, providing the best informational support to help them understand the project much better and more thoroughly. All right, everything is working properly. Let's get started. We'll begin with the project. The New Generation Airships project isn't just about developing another type of vehicle. It's a breakthrough idea already becoming a reality. We are creating innovative aircraft capable of performing the most complex tasks in various fields, from cargo transportation to forest patrols. From scientific missions in hard-to-reach regions to participation in large-scale rescue operations. It can also be used for tourism and even space. Such solutions are on the table as well. A whole team of true professionals is working on the project. These include engineers, PhDs in technical sciences, academicians, designers, and developers with extensive experience in aeronautics, who, back in the day, not only designed and developed airships, but also actually launched them into the sky with their own hands. Within the framework of the New Generation Airships project and at Aeronova, we've brought together the best specialists who are working to bring airships back to the skies. And we're doing this together with your support, your help, and your active participation. We are all profoundly united by one truly significant and overarching goal: to successfully return majestic airships to the vast sky and to meticulously make them an integral and essential part of our modern airspace. thereby introducing them as one of the primary and most innovative types of transportation that will be widely utilized in our daily lives. At its very core is a robust crowd investing platform, which is comprehensively funded by the valuable resources of numerous private investors hailing from different corners of the globe. Break time equals 0.5s/. The initial funding for this significant project officially began in August of 2024. That was the pre-launch phase. It was in August of last year that the launch of the new Generation Airships project was announced. Officially, however, the project started on March 4, 2025. Today, we will also talk about precisely how to become an integral part of this truly huge and profoundly historic moment, not just as a passive observer, but rather as one of the actively engaged participants whose dedicated hands and sincere intentions are meticulously shaping this unfolding history. So stay with us until the end. It's going to be interesting. Alright, now for the next slide, which is coming up very shortly indeed. So, the 3 to 5 year outlook. On this slide, we'll talk in more detail about exactly what we plan to create with the attracted investments and how the entire structure of our project will be organized. First of all, I want to emphasize that our goal is not just to build airships and sell them on the market. That's only the tip of the iceberg. In reality, we are creating an entire industry, a whole sector, and gradually forming a full-fledged ecosystem that will include the key components necessary for sustainable and scalable development. In the coming years, as part of the new Generation Airships project, we plan to establish a dedicated design bureau. This is, so to speak, the heart of the company's engineering thought. Here, new airship models will be conceived, modern technologies will be implemented, and design solutions will be developed that can be applied to the project. As I mentioned, we already have the team in place. It's the core, the backbone is there, but the team is constantly being expanded and the staff is being filled out. These are leading Russian specialists in the field of airships. As I mentioned, there are candidates of technical sciences, engineers, and professors with many years of experience in this area. The next stage is having our own production facility. We plan to build it. At some stage, it might involve renting production facilities to manufacture key components. These include the envelopes, gondolas, ballonets, and other necessary elements used in the airship. Some of the production processes will be concentrated directly in Aerograd, the company's future industrial and testing cluster. This is a strategic move that will give us independence and technological resilience. Let me remind you, the goal is to be completely autonomous, not to rely on any outside contractors, but to take on the entire cycle of production, development of airships, and bringing them to market ourselves. We are also planning Aerograd. It will be a unique space, a complex that includes hangars for assembling and servicing airships of various classes. It will also include a flight test complex, where all models of airships will undergo technical ground and flight tests. A separate training center will be established. This will be the first fully equipped space in Russia for training airship pilots and all technical personnel. And here, we will be pioneers, because there are simply no such centers in the country today, and we face a big, ambitious task to create this kind of center. Let me remind you once again, we are not just building airships, we are creating an entire infrastructure, a culture, and, you could say, the foundation for a new era of aeronautics. All key areas are united under the parent company, Aeronova. It is this company that project participants invest in when they decide to join. It is its shares that they will own as part of their involvement in the project. It is Aeronova, the company, that will serve as a kind of core for the new industry, creating not only airships but also other promising directions that it is also working on. This includes stratospheric probes, and there's also a direction involving gas turbine engines. This area is developing as well, because Aeronova is not just about airships. Our company will also participate in other commercial projects in the field of unmanned systems, stratospheric probes, and even aerospace solutions. Such solutions are also in the works. Some of these projects are already at a certain stage of development or in the process of approval, and they will also generate profit, becoming an additional source of income for the company itself. And, accordingly, for all co-owners, that is, the investors who are participating in the new Generation Airships project. We are not just creating a company, we are actively building an entire industry from scratch, diligently laying a solid foundation for a new high-tech sector. Break time equals 0.5s/. And right now, every single investor is a co-creator of this truly magnificent, historically significant, and profoundly impactful idea and momentous historic moment. So, let's move on and get to the numbers of the project. To implement the entire new Generation Airships program, it is necessary to attract $100 million in investment. This amount includes not only engineering, manufacturing, and infrastructure costs, but also referral rewards for partners. I'll talk about that a bit later. The project timeline we've set for ourselves is 3 to 5 years. The first stage, or rather, the second stage, has already been launched. We have designed, assembled, and brought to testing our unmanned airship, Nova 01. You're probably already following the project news and have likely already seen how the extensive flight tests of this particular craft are progressing and how diligently we're working on its development. After successfully completing all the crucial stages and effectively launching the key strategic directions, the anticipated capitalization of such a promising company could potentially reach at least $1 billion. This figure is based on a fairly conservative model, taking into account the minimum projected profits of the enterprise for its first 3 years. But in reality, the potential of such a company could be much higher. Aeronova is a pioneering and innovative company that is actively shaping the modern airship market in Russia with a clear eye on the international stage. Right now, there is a clear trend emerging in all countries. A growing interest in airships is evident, and it's not just Russia that's actively developing in this direction. But we have every chance to take a leading position in this field. After all, let me kindly remind you that we have diligently brought together the very best specialists from the post-Soviet Union and the present day to truly make a name for ourselves, to successfully bring airships back into the skies. So, now let's move on to the project's comprehensive roadmap. Break time equals 0.5s/. On this particular slide, we will take a much closer look at precisely how this significant project will be effectively implemented. I want to point out that we're not talking about the funding stages, which we've divided into 20 phases, but about the practical stages of development. About our roadmap. We've broken it down into 11 key steps, and the first is the launch. We've already started it. The parent company Aeronova has been established, and the core team of engineers and developers has been assembled and is already working, designing several types of airships today. This includes the already well-known Nova 01, an unmanned model with a payload capacity of 20 kilograms. There is also active development of its hybrid modification, featuring improved aerodynamics and a payload capacity of up to 50 kilograms. Within the team, we affectionately called it the Aerolet, and this particular model will be an integral part of the product line. More precisely, this innovative model will also be included in the comprehensive line of airships with a volume ranging from 130 to 190 cubic meters, offering significant versatility. Moreover, active and significant work is currently underway in this particular direction to design even larger and more advanced models of airships. The very next model that we are planning to introduce is the Nova 2 airship, which will also come in both manned and unmanned versions, offering versatile operational capabilities. They will be available in two modifications, cargo and passenger. This airship will have a volume of 2,000 cubic meters. The cargo version will have a payload capacity of 500 kilograms, and its range will be 500 kilometers. The passenger version will accommodate 6 people, including the pilot, and the flight duration of such an airship will be about 2 hours. However, the duration of this flight is limited not by its physical capabilities, but by certain legal regulations. These regulations limit the flight duration of aircraft that are not equipped with sanitary facilities. Therefore, it doesn't really make sense to install such sanitary facilities on an airship of this type. So, we'll stick to the time limit set by the law. But again, this is the decision for the current stage, for now. Our next airship model is the Nova 8. It's the next in line in terms of size and purpose. Its payload capacity will be about 2 tons. We'll also have this airship in several modifications. It can be made as a passenger version or as a cargo version. The cargo version, as I mentioned, will be able to lift about 2 tons and travel a distance of around 2,000 to 3,000 kilometers. Again, its range is not limited to that figure. Depending on its hybridization or the strategic use of certain solutions on this airship, its operational range can be significantly increased, depending entirely upon the specific tasks at hand. In addition to this, stratospheric probes are currently being developed in collaboration with various industry institutes, even though we are not presently highlighting this area as actively on our social media platforms. Rest assured, we are also diligently working in this direction, and we are making progress here as well. At the second stage, we plan to acquire a plot of land for the construction of the airfield for the future Airship Development Center. We also plan to start designing some of the infrastructure, including the first hangar, where the Nova 2 airship will be assembled. It is quite likely that this will be an inflatable hangar with a pneumatic frame. Such a hangar is more than suitable for the Nova 2 airship in terms of its dimensions. They come in standard sizes and dimensions that are already available on the market, so there will be no need to order a separate large hangar with custom, non-standard dimensions. Therefore, for the Nova 2 airship, it is quite likely that a pneumatic frame hangar will be utilized, while for future, more advanced models, a more substantial and permanent building structure in the form of a dedicated hangar will most likely be employed. Meanwhile, we are continuing the tests of the Nova 01. As you know, we are currently in Voskresensk. We conducted our first flight tests at the airfield in Novinky. That's where we actually carried out the initial tests, were satisfied with the results, and after that, for certain reasons, we needed to change our location. Now we are in Voskresensk, where we continue to carry out our flight tests according to the flight plan we have. We are also continuing to create detailed mock-ups of advanced airships for the Nova 2 and the Nova 8, including various comprehensive testing of essential components, innovative design solutions, and crucial technological processes that will be effectively utilized in this specific type of airship. In the third stage, we are planning to set up a production and training center. Serial production and sales of unmanned airship models with volumes ranging from 130 to 190 cubic meters will begin. This includes the Nova 01 airship, which we already have. There will be various modifications of it in the future, and the Aeroliot 01 airship will also be included. These are the impressive airships that gracefully fall into the cluster with substantial volumes ranging from 130 to 190 cubic meters. In addition, the very first commercial stratospheric probes will be successfully launched as we receive specific requests for such important missions. Also at this crucial stage, assembly and rigorous testing are currently ongoing and will continue progressively. The assembly and testing of Nova 2 will continue, and most importantly, at this stage we had planned to start creating a training center for pilots and technical staff. After all, as I mentioned earlier, there are currently no such centers in Russia, and our task is to create one. Why did I say had planned? Because, in fact, the process has already started and work in this direction is already underway. It's not a quick process, so it's good that we started it in advance, and let's hope we'll complete it on time. In the fourth stage of our roadmap, we are already planning the first flight of Nova 2. This is tentatively scheduled for the first quarter of the year 2026, and the active development will already begin with the Nova 8 airship, a significant and innovative project. As I mentioned, in the fourth stage we plan to get Nova 2 airborne and carry out its flight tests. According to the plan, this is set for the first quarter of 2026. Also at this stage, we plan to start building a second hangar for the larger Nova 8 airship model. For this, we'll need a bigger facility. And after that, we will then move on to actively designing the impressive and robust rigid-type airship Nova 32, the significant and extensive work on which is already well underway as of today. Let me remind you, the Nova 35 is the first airship in our lineup with a rigid structure. Brake time equals 0.5s/, which means it has a solid internal frame inside its envelope that holds the lifting gas in place. And at the same time, we also plan to significantly expand our comprehensive line of advanced stratospheric probes so that new and improved modifications can appear for the various and diverse tasks we will inevitably encounter in the future. In the fifth stage, ground tests and training will be conducted. There will be intensive and extensive work on ground testing of the Nova 8 airship. Pilot and technician training will continue diligently at our own dedicated training center, and we will also be working much more actively and comprehensively in this particular direction. Brake time equals 0.5s/, so let's move on to the next and subsequent slide. And here we have reached the sixth significant stage. In the sixth stage, active development of the Nova 35 airship will begin. This, as I mentioned, is already a rigid airship of a large class, the first in its segment within our project. A separate hangar will be built specifically for this model. Flight and extensive design tests of the advanced Nova 8 airship will continue to be conducted, and the comprehensive development of significant modifications of the versatile Nova 2 airship in various configurations for different and diverse tasks will also commence and begin. At Stage 7, we are already actively launching the production of Nova 2 airship modifications, and these are now serial models. Brake time equals 0.5s/, meticulously tailored for the specific needs of particular customers. Development will also begin on various versions of the Nova 8 airship, cargo, surveillance, rescue, and others. At the eighth stage, production of the Nova 8 airship and components for the Nova 35 airship will begin. We will start producing modifications of the Nova 8 airship at the eighth stage. At the same time, we will begin manufacturing components for the Nova 35 airship. This is an important preparatory stage. And at the ninth stage, we will be able to move on to serial production of the Nova 2 airship, the 2,000 cubic meter airship, in its various versions and configurations. At this stage, we officially move to serial production of the Nova 2 airship model. This will happen at our 9th stage. This means a consistently stable output, well-established and reliable processes, contract-based deliveries, and, as a direct and significant result, the expected active and substantial growth in revenue. At the 10th stage, we plan to begin the serial production of the Nova 8 airship and to fully complete the certification process for the Nova 5 airship. We will soon commence the mass production of the Nova 8 airship as well, in its various configurations and modifications, and we will also undergo all the necessary certifications, licensing, and so on for the Nova 35 airship. And, my dear friends, this will already be a truly thorough and comprehensive preparation for successfully entering the global market with the absolutely largest and most advanced airship from the current lineup, which is specifically planned within the ambitious new Generation Airships project. And at the final stage of the roadmap, at stage 11, we plan, as a logical conclusion, to produce the Nova 35 airship and to launch its new models and modifications. We are launching mass production of the Nova 32 airship. At the same time, we are starting to design new models, both in the category of light aircraft and in the medium and heavy lift categories. These will be able to perform various tasks tailored to the specific needs of any customer. And, friends, of course the company truly won't stop at small-sized airships, even though that's precisely where we'll indeed be focusing within the current project. At the same time, we will be designing aircraft with medium and large lifting capacities, that is to say, airships that are significantly larger than the Nova 35. The precise sources of funding for their development will be determined at a later stage, and it won't necessarily be crowd investing, as some might assume. It could be private investments, government contracts, or even some private companies or corporations. Everything is open to everyone, and we'll work with all of them. And this is just the first wave within the current crowd investing project. We are already actively working on new concepts for heavier aircraft, and in the near future, we will definitely be launching them into production. And after the main roadmap plan is implemented, the project will reach full capacity, its assets will grow, and the number of major clients will increase. Since airships are becoming an increasingly in-demand and truly interesting mode of transport, it logically follows that the company's profits are also expected to significantly grow, but all in due time. Let's now direct our attention to the upcoming slide, where we will delve into a comprehensive discussion regarding the future prospects and potential developments that are anticipated over the course of the next 5 to 10 years. Here, we'll touch on the topic of scaling up on the company's expansion to the international level and into global markets. Speaking in much broader terms, over the next 5 to 10 years, we comprehensively plan to launch full-scale serial production and commercial deliveries of our innovative airships not only to various regions of Russia, but also extensively abroad and across the entire world, reaching global markets. The goals are ambitious. This means that we have established production chains, a stable output of all components for assembling airships, and, as a result, are already entering the international market. But of course, we're not stopping there. At the same time, work will continue on developing new airship modifications for various fields of application. This is a continuous process of constant growth, ongoing changes, and significant modifications, primarily because there are quite a substantial number of niches in diverse areas where airships can be effectively and efficiently utilized. And for each specific and unique task, the airship will be meticulously equipped with all the necessary and appropriate equipment, and, let's say, its inherent design features and particular characteristics will definitely need to be carefully taken into account. In terms of infrastructure, there are also plans for a major expansion in the construction of new aerotowns, both within Russia itself and in neighboring and distant foreign countries. International offices will be strategically established for local assembly sites and comprehensive training centers. And on the accompanying slide, you can now clearly see the most promising geographical areas for significant development. These are the precise directions in specific countries where the most active and impactful work will be carried out initially. And strong partnerships will be meticulously built with various government agencies, key corporate clients, and leading research organizations. And this is exactly the horizon we are all striving toward, step by step, as we create a new industry. So, let's move on at this point. So, on this particular slide, we have the comprehensive project figures, the project's detailed financial model, the precise share structure, and the various stocks that will subsequently appear later on. As part of our ongoing crowd investing project, we plan to distribute among our valued investors 49, here it actually says 50, but it's precisely 49 billion investment shares. This is done through the investment platform SOLARGROUP, which I will also talk about a bit later. Next, after the investment round is completed and the share issuance begins, all shares will be converted into Aeronova Company stocks at a rate of 100 shares to one stock. Currently, Aeronova does not have the status of a joint stock company or a closed joint stock company, so the company is following this proven and justified strategy. And at the current stage, there are certain shares that, after the company fully acquires its new, official status, will, so to speak, be directly converted into actual stocks that can be registered directly in your own name as personal property. Break time equals 0.5s/. To touch on the numbers once again, all investors will ultimately end up holding a grand total of approximately 490 million shares. In total, the company presently plans to issue a substantial 1 billion shares, and this significant issuance means that approximately 49% of these shares will be in free circulation, thereby allowing them to be readily acquired by interested investors. And the controlling stake of 51% will be retained by the founders and the project team themselves. This is a fairly transparent and balanced model, where every investor becomes a co-owner of a real technology business with the right to dividends and capital growth. Break time equals 0.5s// as the project itself develops and grows. So, now let's move on to the next slide. Here, it is clearly illustrated exactly how the company's shares are divided and allocated. Here we can observe that 49% of the shares are fully owned by, and effectively managed by, the management company SOLARGROUP. It is through this platform that you join as a project participant, as an investor in the new Generation Airships project by Aeronova. The project is being implemented by several companies, each of which plays its own role and has its own area of responsibility. Let me remind you once again that Aeronova is a company created within the framework of the new Generation Airships project, and it was specifically established for its implementation. It will mass produce, operate, and sell airships, as well as handle the construction of the aerodrome. The company will earn substantial and consistent revenue from the successful implementation of the entire project and subsequently distribute it equitably among all the participants who have actively joined and contributed. 51% of the shares will belong to the team that is creating the new Generation Airships project. Owning a significant 51% of the total shares allows the company to effectively retain the main and most important say in all decision-making processes at shareholder meetings. and 49% of Aeronova's shares will be, and currently are, managed by the financial company SOLARGROUP, which is responsible for attracting investments to the project and representing the rights of investors. It is precisely through the official SOLARGROUP investment platform that you can become a valued participant in our significant project and truly join the ranks of those dedicated people who make up that very important 49% of its active participants. Currently, all the participants are actively buying shares in SOLARGROUP, and after the financing is fully completed, these shares will then be exchanged for Aeronova shares and subsequently transferred to the investors as their rightful property. After that, you will be able to receive dividends from the company's profits or sell your assets at a higher price than what you paid for them at the time of purchase. So, I hope that's clear. Let's move on. Discount by stages. How is the project financing structured? As you can see on your slide, the financing of our project is divided into 20 stages. This structure allows for flexible management of the project's development, reduces risks both for the team and for investors, and also helps to better plan the project's growth. It's important to understand here that with each new stage, the risks associated with the project decrease. That's because the company achieves more and more results, develops ready-made solutions, and produces working flying devices. But it's also important to understand that at the same time, the discount, or if you prefer, the price reduction on purchasing shares decreases, meaning the shares become more expensive. On March 4, 2025, we officially launched the first stage. The share price at this stage doubled compared to the pre-launch period. Right now, we are already in the second stage, which we entered on July 11th, and compared to the first stage, the shares have increased in price by about another 10%. This is a natural and predictable growth that reflects the company's real achievements and, accordingly, forms the basis for the step-by-step transition from stage to stage and the increasing value of the project shares. So, friends, if you are planning to join the project, if it resonates with you and you have decided that you want to become a participant, an investor, it is always significantly more advantageous to proactively do this at the present stage of development, rather than patiently waiting for the company to inevitably move to the next crucial one. So, please keep this important consideration in mind, carefully plan your subsequent actions accordingly, and then we will proceed onward. Now, how exactly do you become a valued partner in this exciting project? To join the partnership program, all you need to do is scan the QR code that you see now on your screen. If you are not yet registered on our website, you need to review and sign the partnership agreement, and then familiarize yourself with the promotional tools available in your personal account. And, basically, start sharing information, attracting new investors, and earning referral rewards. You can do this from the very first day after registering for the project. You don't even have to invest yourself. The partnership program allows us to finance the project. Everything we've achieved so far is only possible thanks to our partnership program. Thanks to our partners and investors who actively participate in the project, actively share information, and promote this direction. This activity is very important in our project, so I encourage all participants, active partners, and even those who are just joining the project. For you, this is a great opportunity, at the very least, to get to know the project better, and secondly, it will help you if you currently don't have the means to invest. Although we have a fairly flexible package system that allows you to start with as little as $50. But even if that amount is difficult for you, partnership activities can allow you to start investing in the project without attracting, or rather, without using your own resources. But thanks to the undeniable fact that you actively share valuable information, attract and popularize this promising direction for new investors and new participants, the company appropriately rewards and sincerely thanks you for your diligent work. For many participants and partners, this type of activity has already become their main occupation, allowing them to invest more in the project themselves and, in general, to fully engage in it as their primary source of activity. Which, in my humble opinion, is also a truly great opportunity to find a new direction or a new activity for yourself, something that, who knows, you might really enjoy and even find fulfilling, even if you never thought you'd be involved in this kind of work. That's why I recommend at the very least scanning the QR code, registering, learning more information, reading the partnership agreement, and talking to our current partners and investors. And maybe you'll decide to become an active partner in our project. I also want to mention that the partnership program, the marketing program, is just one of the tools for marketing promotion in the project. It allows you to effectively allocate resources in a highly targeted way and appropriately reward individuals who have actually done some significant work, perhaps brought in a new investor, or actively spread the word about the project. The company gets exactly the targeted action it needs, which is attracting new investments for targeted advertising on social networks. The company doesn't handle this itself. If you see something like this, it's all the work of our partners, and I believe this is the right marketing strategy, which allows the company not to spread its resources thin, but to direct them precisely and purposefully where they're needed. All right, let's move on to the next slide. How do you activate the marketing plan? Friends, if you've been with us for a while, if you registered in your personal account before the pre-launch phase of the new Generation Airships project, that is, before August 7th, 2024, and you're already a SOLARGROUP partner, you need to activate your marketing plan since this is a new project. To do this, all you need is a personal investment of just $50 in the new Generation Airships project. This will truly and effectively activate your partner rewards from your entire first-level structure, regardless of when you initially invited a new person to the project, or even if it's someone who's already been a part of it and is already existing within your network. To do this, you need to activate your marketing plan for $50 by investing in the project. If you want to fully activate the remaining levels to their complete depth according to your current partner status, it's enough for at least one client or partner from your very first line to also invest a minimum of $50 in this particular project. Please note that if you do not have a personal investment of at least $50, you will not be able to activate the referral reward, and thus benefit from it. This was simply done to give a little additional boost and activate all the participants and partners from the previous project, and to see who is still actively engaged. This way, the company doesn't waste resources on people no longer actively participating in the project. That's why these minimal requirements were put in place. Raise your hand to show you're alive. You're here with us, ready to move forward together. To activate the marketing plan, I think you don't even need to make much effort, because these are minimal requirements that the company introduced just to do, let's say, a quick roll call. All right, let's move on. Next slide. How do you invest in the project? Friends, investing in the project is actually quite simple. To do this, you need to go to your personal account on the SOLARGROUP website. Right now, you can see a QR code on your screen that you need to scan, and, basically, it will take you to the registration page. After that, you'll definitely need to proceed to the Investments section, then find the Airships tab within the main menu, or you can simply follow the convenient QR code you currently see displayed on the slide right now, and then carefully choose and promptly pay for the specific share package that you ultimately decide on for yourself. Before that, I want to let you know that in your personal account you'll be able to find a lot of useful information, both about the new Generation Airships project itself and about news updates, which we also publish on the official website. There are also links to our official sources on social media. You can subscribe wherever is most convenient for you. We have chats with investors and partners where, first of all, we share up-to-date information, and we also communicate with each other there, answering questions from new, so to speak, participants who have just joined us. That's why I recommend everyone to join. We have a pretty friendly and warm atmosphere there, where everyone shares information and helps each other figure out any difficulties you might encounter when getting to know your personal account. So don't hesitate, join us, register, and learn more about what we do and what goals we pursue. And finally, realize for yourself that airships are an awesome thing. They have a ton of advantages, and they will definitely be in demand and perform their tasks effectively. So, I managed to get through everything pretty quickly today. This is our last slide. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments. I'll go through them now, and if there are any interesting questions, or even if there aren't, I'll try to answer them. So, I just need a couple of minutes for that. All right, I see that we don't have that many people attending the webinar today. So, questions? I don't see any questions yet. All right, friends, since we don't have any questions for now, I'm sure many of you will watch this presentation as a recording, so don't hesitate to write your questions while watching. Our team is actively working. We read all the comments you leave and try to respond to them. So please write, stay engaged, and share this video on your social networks if you can. This really helps promote the project and supports its implementation. And the very fact that you simply share information about the existence of this project, that people will get an idea or at least a thought that airships are making a comeback, that it might very soon be truly possible to actually see them once again in the very near future. This already goes a remarkably long way in helping us adequately prepare for the undeniable fact that people genuinely want to see airships in the future. And this collective intention, I believe, will help us achieve our goals and objectives in the very near future. Hey Anne, there are some questions. First question. Hello, I haven't watched from beginning any news about premises. The question isn't clear here, as we're looking at several different premises. In addition to the airfield itself, which we are actively looking to purchase, we also have the entire production side, including all production equipment and facilities. We are also actively searching for a space for the shell production. If the question was specifically about the shell production, we have a few locations in mind. At the recent webinar that thoughtfully took place on Thursday, Fedor comprehensively shared that one of these significant and notable places is indeed Technopolis, Moscow. But there is also another exciting option, which we will announce very soon and will definitely share with you all. I can't reveal it just yet, but the video is already ready. It's currently being edited, and that information will be included there. All right. Hi. Could you please tell us, when creating the second Nova 01 device, will there be many changes, and how will it differ? Friends, let me remind you once again that the Nova 01 airship is truly a faithful and exact scaled-down replica of the Nova 2 airship, indeed. And if we had originally designed an efficient airship of this size, Nova 01, 130 cubic meters, without basing it on the scaled-down version of Nova 2, it would have looked different. There would have been more engines, and the gondola design would have been a bit different. We built this Nova 01 craft specifically to simulate all the aerodynamic characteristics and engine thrust to see how they would perform on the Nova 2 airship. This is our replica of the Nova 2 airship. The next models will be different. The next airship of this volume that we expect is the Aerolet 02. It will have a volume of either 160 or 190 cubic meters, and it will feature improved aerodynamic characteristics. While a classic airship typically possesses the traditional and familiar shape, the Aerolet 02 airship will uniquely feature, let's say, a distinctive three-sausage envelope design in order to significantly improve its overall aerodynamic characteristics and performance. In addition, special engines will be used there as well. Overall, it's better to discuss the design details and how it will differ together with Theodore on Thursday, when we'll have a webinar next week. In addition to the two, we are also planning a classic model of the Nova 01 airship, similar to the one we see now. But, as I mentioned, there will be some technical changes there. It will have more engines. This airship will be more maneuverable. Its aerodynamic or cargo characteristics will be improved, and overall, it will be an airship of a completely different class. What we've truly made now isn't even a clear example at all. So, the next models will be significantly more efficient and better. Alright, I'll move on to the next question. Is the Nova 35 airship rigid? That's the right decision. The Nova 35 serves as the basis for creating the DTS airships for the transport system. Yes, the Nova 35 airship is the first airship with a rigid structure. It's from this volume onward that it makes sense to build a rigid structure, because with significantly smaller volumes, the intricate internal structure of the airship itself simply won't allow it to effectively ascend into the air, primarily because its overall weight will then become substantially and disproportionately higher than the limited lifting force it can generate, making sustained flight impossible. But starting from the Nova 35 airship, its volume increases by the square, as I was able to figure out, while its lifting characteristics, its lifting force increase by the cube. And accordingly, with the Nova 35 airship, it already makes sense to use a rigid frame. The Nova 35 airship, according to our current calculations, will likely weigh approximately 10 metric tons, and its impressive flight range will extend to around 6,000 kilometers, and in actual fact, it might not even be strictly limited to that particular distance. If we were to carefully change some of its aerodynamic properties and design features, this particular figure can be increased even further than before, significantly. I have another question. Will there be small airships for civilians, for example, like small aircraft? Actually, I asked myself that same question not so long ago. It's quite possible that such models will also appear, but we have to understand that this is not our priority right now. According to our detailed calculations, we currently have in-demand airship models that will be highly valuable on the market and will be greatly sought after. I'm sure that such models for light aviation will also be in demand. I'm confident that both flying enthusiasts and just adventurers who want to own such a machine will buy them. And most likely, such models will also appear, although there hasn't been any official news or information about this yet. But for some reason, I feel like such models will also appear, at least judging by the conversations with the team. I can see that there are discussions in this direction as well, and they notice some demand and interest from a certain niche audience. In general, I think it would be awesome if you could have a single or two-seater private airship that you could use to travel somewhere. So why is it that the personal account no longer shows how much money has been received for the project? Good question. I'll forward this question to Pavel Filipov and get back to you with an answer at the next webinar. Unfortunately, I don't have that information right now. Alright, next question. Fedor said that we should all like the news. The SMIC has piqued our curiosity. Yes, that's the very video that was recorded with the CEO of SOLARGROUP, Sergei Semenov, and with Pavel Filipov. That particular video is currently in production, and it will be released very, very soon, where this very important news will be officially announced. So for now, no further comments on that. Yes, indeed. Alright, but it seems like that's all the questions I have from you for now. I'll check on another platform now. Well, it looks like that's it. So, friends, let's not drag out our presentation any longer. Please give me your feedback. How do you feel about this presentation format? Is it clear, structured? Needs to be changed, simplified, or made more complex? Let me know your thoughts. We want to grow in quality. We want the presentation to attract as many people as possible, to be accessible, understandable, and to help us move together toward the goals we've set together with you. With that, I think I'll say goodbye for now. Thank you to everyone who found the time today, joined the presentation, and asked your questions. A special thanks to those who are active, write comments, and share the video. And it doesn't have to be on your own page. You can send it to someone in a private message. You can also post it on your personal page, or maybe in some of your private communities. All of this is incredibly helpful for promoting the project, and it's very important for all of us. So I urge you once again to do this. Don't be shy. You never know where a new person might become interested in the project. After all, you might not even realize it, but someone is watching you, someone is paying attention, and it's quite likely we have many such stories. People come from places you least expect. So, friends, once again I urge everyone to be active, support us, write comments, give us any kind of feedback so that we can improve and provide you with higher quality content. But that's all for now. Thanks again, and see you in a week. Bye.
Solar Group presents This was once just a dream of the skies, the freedom of flight, of round-the-world journeys. Yet we've made it happen. But what did it take? Our dreams became our goals. Our concepts turned into our plans. Our ideas have transformed into a roadmap and production technology. And the years ahead are booked out with development and construction, components and materials, model manufacturing and testing. All this marks the progress from dream to result. Join us on this journey. SOLARGROUP presents a new generation of airships. The best way to predict the future is to create it, so let's do so together.